Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC and this is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm bringing you guys another News Daily video. Now, to kick things off, I'm going to be talking about Charlie Masunda. Now, as been reported by Foot Masato, Masunda is allegedly wanting to leave Chelsea this January. He isn't going to be signing a new contract, as it has been reported by them, and he wants to explore his options and leave because he's growing distress at the fact that no matter how hard he's training, the opportunities aren't coming. He doesn't feel like he'll play an important figure, and at the age he's at now, he needs to be playing consistently. Now, as reported by SoFoot, Roberto Martinez isn't necessarily so sympathetic with Charlie Masunda. He's basically stating that, of course, what were you going to expect? He decided to stay at the club instead of going on loan when there were loan options, and the two main clubs interested in bringing Masunda in were Hull City and Roma. And I think with Charlie Masunda, especially after how his Real Betis stay was in the end, I feel that maybe he was a bit reluctant to join Roma. I mean, with hindsight now, maybe he could have got game time, especially playing on that right hand side where Gerson necessarily isn't really the best option there, but who's to know, especially when you don't have that stability to really push on and show what you can do. And Masunda's probably thinking, you know what, I've been here for half a season since I returned back from Real Betis. Conte's seen me. It's obvious they must have had discussions. I'm sure Conte said that he rates Masunda as a player. That's going to boost your options, and that's going to boost your confidence. And of course, Masunda has a lot of confidence in his own ability. So of course, it's natural for a guy like him to want to really, obviously do the hardest challenges and overcome them. But it seems with Chelsea, no matter how well he does in training or whatever, he's still not going to get that game time. I mean, for example, for him to even be playing minutes in the under 23, I mean, that just really sums it up. That shouldn't be happening at all. I mean, even Ruben LOFTUS, he was never playing any part with that type of football at all. So it really goes to show you how they're seeing him. And I think with Masunda now, as Martinez is saying, he's going to be 21 years old now. He needs to be playing consistently because he's very talented now. I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think it's best for Masunda to leave. Now, there's reports that Arsenal want to make a bid for him. 2 seasons before, Arsenal and Monaco tried to come in with €8 million bids, or I think €10 million bids for Charlie Masunda, which the club rejected. And of course, they did their thing, their typical thing of sweet talking, saying, but believe in us, there's a plan for you, you're the future of the club, blah blah blah. It's quite a shame. Imagine if Masunda did leave 2 years ago. He would have probably taken Iwobi's place in the team. He is a better player than him. What level would he be on now? Imagine if he went to Monaco 2 seasons before. Can you imagine Masunda playing with the likes of Mbappe, Lamar and Bernardo Silva? Maybe Lamar may never have come if Masunda was there already. And of course, in football, in a way, players market themselves based on what they do. We have to obviously understand the realities of football. Even though there's a lot of extensive scouting systems, it's not at that level where clubs will know every single player in the world, all their strengths, all their weaknesses. There's a reason why scouting's there. So of course, with a lot of clubs, for example in the Premier League, they don't necessarily, can't just fully rely on scouts and stats. You know what I mean? They have to they get a confidence in seeing what type of performances you're putting out there. It's basically like applying for a job. Before you apply for that job, your employees tend to want you to have work experience beforehand before they put you in. Football isn't any different, and I feel that Masunda, for now, because I think the guy has world-class ability, he needs to play for a team that suits his style. I love to see him play for a Sevilla, for example. I think him collecting the ball out wide, cutting inside, really affecting the goal, because he's definitely getting better with his shooting technique. And one thing in Masunda's play that I'm really liking is his ability to move into those central positions and obviously break away like Pedro does and run into space. I think the more regularly he plays, the better he's going to get at that, and the better he's going to be in front of goal. And I think that's all Masunda really needs. Once he shows he can score goals, there's nothing stopping the guy. But I feel that Chelsea, unless there's a change or an injury crisis, he isn't going to get a chance, which is a bit of a shame in my opinion. Now, moving on to the next story. Tammy Abrahams and Ruben LOFTUS have made it into the England squad, and honestly, congratulations to those guys. I mean, it's fantastic. I'm so happy that both of them are in the England squad. I feel that's the future. I've always felt Ruben LOFTUS is that guy in midfield that England needs, really, to drive, help with the transition in attacks, and his box-to-box abilities. And the guy is very good on the ball. His decision making is very good, and I think the more regular he's playing, it's going to help him. And the fact that he is getting an England call-up is going to help him with his Chelsea chances. As I was saying earlier about Masunda, in modern day football, it's kind of like you need to have that work experience first before clubs trust you. You know, some kids are very lucky because of circumstances that they get the opportunities. Other ones, they have to start from the bottom or be lucky enough to get experience from an early age. But I think getting that international cap is really going to help Ruben's prospects. And if he performs well and continues his performances, there's a chance that he might even make it to Russia for the World Cup. And honestly, I feel that with his qualities and abilities, England need them in midfield. He offers something completely different, you know, a nice class in midfield. And congratulations to Tammy Abrahams as well, his goal scoring run. You know, this guy's really shown his versatility, and this is really such a, you know, well done to Chelsea's youth academy. You know, we produce kids not just play a certain way, they're very adept and versatile in their style of play. I mean, Abrahams is comfortable receiving the ball out wide, he's comfortable holding the play up, linking the play up, he can get in the box. I mean, the guy's 19 years old and look what he's doing now. I mean, it shows you how impressive their development team is at the club, and you know, those two are a testament to that. And I'm hoping that, again, Tammy Abrahams is another guy that can show what he can do. I mean, that forward lineup of Rashford, Tammy and Harry Kane is more than good enough in my opinion, and I'm happy that Southgate is finally taking the chance to explore the other youth alternatives and possibilities that England have, because I feel too often they are overlooked for experience. For example, when I'm looking at a guy like the guy who's Livermore, for example, he's a decent player, but I can't understand why he'd be in the England setup. Again, the fact that Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been called up, of course, it shows you before that Southgate probably would have taken him with the last squad, but he was injured during that time. But it's good that he's exploring and looking at the alternatives, because English football, especially English youth football, is on the up right now. Of course, under 17 wins, under 19 wins, under 20 wins. We're producing some of the best youngsters in the world. It's good that the national team are taking responsibility, giving some of these guys an opportunity from an early age, because that's what's going to really help them get into their first team squads for their clubs in Europe. So congratulations to those two. I'm going to obviously watch the game, and I think they might do some player analysis videos on them afterwards. Now moving on to the next story, and that is Richmond Boakye, and he's a 24-year-old Ghanaian forward. I'm from Ghana, and he's playing in Serbia for Red Star Belgrade. They are going to be playing Arsenal, and Chelsea have been linked with him before, and it looks like we are sending scouts to see his performance against Arsenal. Now, he has scored 18 goals so far, and actually Conte knows of him previously because Juventus did sign him from Atlanta as a teenager. Of course, he was sent on some loan moves as well, finally left. And if anything, the fact that we're looking at him shows me that Conte really wants 3 strikers in this team. Now, of course, he did want Llorente beforehand. End of the day, I can understand why the club wouldn't go for him. Honestly, I kind of agree in a way. You know, the guy's 30-something years old. It would cost 50 million to bring him in, plus a few million with his wages for the year. And there's a chance that he might not be playing much anyway, because he'd be fighting for a second choice spot in the team. So it doesn't make any financial sense, and it could potentially cost up to 18 million or, you know, or 17 million just to have one player for a year. Boakye is a younger alternative. At the same time, you know, he's playing in Serbia, so if you are scoring 18 goals in the Serbian league, what's that really saying, in my opinion? I might sound a bit cynical, of course, no disrespect to the league, but then of course the standard of defending and, you know, the quality of opposition you face isn't going to be the same. So the fact that we're looking at him, it's kind of a disservice to some of the guys we let leave. There's one guy in particular which I couldn't believe the club let go, and that is Bertrand Traore. And I'm just thinking, Conte, seeing him in this system, he suits perfectly to a T what Conte would want his forward players to do, or his wide forward players to do in this system. He can link up the play, he can beat a man, play people in, great first control. I keep saying this guy is the new Griezmann. In the next few years, we're going to hear big things about him. I stand by that. Virtually identical, really, in their style of play. I saw Griezmann too when he was playing for Real Sociedad on the flanks. So I think that Bertrand Traore will make that transition in the future. But again, you know, letting go of incredibly talented players to, you know, spend a lot of money on players that just have more experience, but not necessarily the quality. And it's a shame, in my opinion. But anyway, of course, testament to Richmond, I mean, it's good in a way, you know, one of my countrymen doing well, and he's basically saying that, you know what, I'm happy with being linked to Chelsea. If they come for me, I'm going to sign for them. I'm hoping I play well against Arsenal. I'd love to score against Petr Cech to test myself against top quality opposition. And I think Richmond knows that Chelsea scouts are watching him. So if he has a good performance, it's going to boost his chances of getting a move to us in January. Now, to end on the last story, and that is Alex Sandro. Now, of course, before I even talk about Alex Sandro, yeah, Gulam's, his ACL's gone. He's going to be out for a year. That's still not stopping us potentially agreeing a pre-contract agreement, because he wouldn't be coming until next summer anyway. But in terms of Alex Sandro, there's been reports coming out that, did Juventus make the right decision in keeping him? His form hasn't been as good recently. I think he wasn't even part of the squad for their last game. And it seems that potentially a potential move could be on the moves. As reported by the Daily Mirror, the move can potentially still be on. As I kept stressing in the summer, the reason why the deal didn't come through is because, again, negotiations took too long. Now, terms were agreed with Alex Sandro. Agreeing terms really is the easiest part in terms of negotiating a transfer. A bank account was created in case as a precaution measure, because again, if he does come, and if he did sign for us in the summer, it wouldn't have happened right till the end. You want to get all those details sorted beforehand, so everything's an easy transition. It wasn't to be. The difference is if we sign him before they sold Bonucci, he'd become a Chelsea player. Now, again, his form is being criticised. He hasn't been playing as well. There's talks of maybe he's a bit dissuaded with obviously staying at Juventus. Their form hasn't been too great recently, and really, I know their kit's bang, but is that enough of a reason to stay with Juventus? No, I'm joking. I'm being a bit cheeky there, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised that we do look into him again, because we are definitely looking at alternatives with a left wing back situation. Of course, we're being linked with TAMMY, Gulam. Alex Sandro is persistent. It's obvious that the club are looking for alternatives on that left hand side, so don't be surprised to see us bring in someone next summer. But anyway, you guys, that's going to end today's News Daily video. I'm actually going to be releasing another video later tonight in the next few hours surrounding Antonio Conte. Don't expect too much edits or anything crazy. I'm just going to be giving some thoughts and opinions to some crazy reports stating by Marca that Conte is going to be sacked. Now, you guys just hear my thoughts and opinions before anyone gets a bit crazy. And of course, please like, comment, subscribe, and also please, that bell notification sign, press it and stay notified to all things Blue Lines TV. I'm the EFC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.